Hi, welcome back to Box of Lights. We're playing 51st State with Winter Expansion. I'm going to start with a couple of corrections. The first one was Sharash here, which Rue brought into play. When you bring a production world into play, then it immediately gains its production resource. And in addition, the second mistake was I sent a worker here to Sharash. What I should have done was place one of my faction tokens here and given the worker to Rue. So at the end of his turn, he said he had nothing left to do, but he had one worker and one contact token he could have used. So I'm going to invite him back to just rewind and make those corrections.
I'll use this contact token to incorporate museum.
Alright, that's got a range 1. Okay. Well done. So that gives you one additional victory point at the end as well. And what about this worker? I don't think there was anything you could do with it other than send it to the frozen city. And I grabbed the one that was left, so you should have this, really.
Oh, okay.
Good stuff. Alright, so that ends. We clear these away, and you get one more victory point. And let's start turn 2 by revealing what's in the frozen city.
Now we'll deal 5 cards to the lookout area.
And I've got the first player token, so I'm going to get first choice. I think I'll grab Bunker.
And I'll take Gun Trader.
Next, I think I'll grab... This one looks interesting. Let's take news from the front.
And I'll take Supplies.
Good choice. Alright, then we both grab a card from the top. Show you what I've got. And we head into the production phase. This time we're each going to get one universal resource token. That's one for me, one for you. And then we grab our production resources. So I get my 4 workers. I've got no production here, but I do have a deal here. So this is a universal resource token, giving me 2 in total.
I'm getting a contact token.
From Sharash's production world, okay. This is not production.
And I'm getting a universal.
From your deal.
From my deal.
And then your regular production is 3 workers and 1 fuel. We've also got an opportunity now to cash in some spoils. I'm going to do that right away by removing the spoils from your faction cards. So this just goes to the discard pile now. So I get 2 rubble, 1 weapons. That's these. And what about you? You going to cash in yours?
Yeah, I'm going to cash in this one here.
And that gives you what? 2
victory points.
Excellent. And those 2 victory points go on your faction card. There's no limit here in the same way that there was for the locations. You remember the 3 token limit. Right, now we move into the actions phase, and I want to show you how I can send a worker here to my rebel trader. So I'll send a worker here, and then I can exchange 1 rebel for 1 victory points. That's my action done. Over to you.
Using my universal contact token, I'm going to play Guns Trader as a
location. Okay, good choice. And this guy has exchanging weapons for, well, it's just like the rebel trader. Pretty much the rebel trader equivalent of guns. And I guess discarded. And now for my next action. Well, I'm going to do the same again, I think. I was tempted to send a worker here for a second time. But the second time you send a worker, and you can only do it twice, you have to send 2 workers instead. So that would have cost me 2 workers and a rubble, and I could have taken another victory point. But I'm going to do something different instead. I'm going to do something called a redevelopment, and I'm going to redevelop the rubble trader for the bunker. I'm going to show you how. The redevelopment action allows us to put one location into play and ignore the distance value of the card. All we have to do is play one building material. We discard one of our locations that's already in play. So we'll discard the rubble trader. Any victory points that are on there go to our faction card. But the only rule of which locations you can substitute for another is they must both share at least one card type icon. Right, now I've got these are card type icons, and they've both got this white star, the victory point card type icon. So that was allowed me to change bunker for trader. So as another example, I couldn't have put the bulldozer in for rubble trader because they don't share one of these card type icons. Okay, so rubble trader is discarded. And I have bunker instead. In addition, every time you do the redevelopment action, you get 1 victory point. And that kind of represents the fact that that victory point that you had from that location is now gone, transferred to your base. Mr. President here, he has this trait that says every time I take the redevelopment action, which I just did, then I get a victory point. That's 1 VP for Mr. President.
I'm going to send 2 workers to go and get 1 scrap resource.
Scrap, okay. I wonder what he's got cooking over there. I want to redevelop one more time, and I'm going to change the bunker. I don't really want that bunker, but it's got the universal icon here, the universal resource icon, so has the school. So I'm going to redevelop this one. Now the second time, and you can do this multiple times now, the second time you redevelop in a turn, it doesn't cost you any resources, but it does cost you a redevelopment token. So I'm going to use Mr. President's redevelopment token. I'm going to redevelop bunker into school. These get discarded. And of course redeveloping gives me 1 victory point here, plus Mr. President's ability here. And because school is a production location, I get 1 more worker since the school produces workers. Okay, that's my action done.
I'm going to use this scrap resource and this universal resource to play telegraph.
Okay. Well, that's good. Let's rearrange your cards so that ones that I can send workers to are at the front here. And telegraph's pretty good. If you send a worker here, you can discard a card for 1 victory point. Good card. What about me? I'm going to send a worker off to the frozen city. I'm going to grab Tommy the gun. That's cool. Your turn.
I'm going to use the motorcycle gang
Okay.
to play Rebuild Zone as a spoils. For placing the spoils, I get 1 victory point on Borgo the Almighty.
Alright, yeah, he's got this trait here, hasn't he? Alright, nice job. Well, I'm afraid I'm going to shoot the president because I want to put Tommy Gunn into play. So you're only allowed 1 leader. I've got a lead already and I want to put Tommy the Gun into play. How do I do this? I need a weapons resource to do this. I'm effectively shooting the president and replacing him with Tommy the Gun. Any victory points that he had, they go to my base card. And you also get 1 victory point for Mr. President, the leader you've just removed. So that's 1 VP. Mr. President goes here. This resource is spent. Tommy the Gun here. This hand means he gets these 2 weapon resources and they're permanent. Incidentally, now that I've got a collection, I can cash those in for... Alright, let's grab these. Let's remove these 5 ones and put a 5 down. The actual denominations of the tokens don't matter on your base card. They do on your locations.
I'm going to place this universal token.
Right, so that's acting as fuel for your caravan. That's going to give you 3 range for negotiation.
I'm going to have a radio station as a deal.
Alright, that's pretty good. You've hit your 3 slot limit now. And that's going to give you 1 negotiation range every production phase. Pretty good. Right, this time I'm going to send a worker to Sharash, just like last time. So you get a new worker, and I get a universal contact token. Your turn.
I'm going to send a worker to the frozen city. And I'm going to take mutants.
Choice. Alright, that's added to your hand. I'm going to spend one of my universal resource tokens. And I'm going to use it for my incorporation as scrap. And this is going to give me 1 incorporation range, which together with my universal token means I can put the bulldozer into play. Okay, your turn.
I'm going to send another worker to the frozen city and take the merchants.
Nice. Ah, I had one eye on that. But I've got one more thing I want to do. Texas faction's got this special ability. See this this green icon up here? This is called the action reusage symbol. And what that means is I can use one of these that I've already used again. So I can take my second universal resource token and use incorporation again. Normally you can only use them once. And with that I'm going to get the hibernatory into play. And he has a trait here that says the moment he comes into play, he gets 1, 2, 3, 4 workers. And they're going to stay there until I'm ready to use them. Okay, your turn.
I haven't really got anything else to do, so I think I'm finished.
You're finished, okay. So you're going to pass. I've got a couple of workers left, so what could I do with those? I could send 2 workers here and grab another token, but that's only going to give me 1 range, right? Besides, I'm going to keep this, I'm going to save this. I could send a worker here and bulldoze. This says bulldoze one of your locations. But no, let's, I think I'm only going to use 1 worker. I'm going to send it to the frozen city. Grab this girl while I've got the chance. There's a few things I could do with this worker and those workers, but no, I'm gonna keep those there for now. I think I'm just gonna let this one go. All right, that's gonna end our actions phase. Let's clear up the stuff that we've spent. Are you done?
Yep.
And that unspent fuel. I'll grab this back. And now let's count my victory points. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4. That's plus this one, these 6. That's 10 for me, right? So I'll move my token up to 10. Remember, these aren't accumulative. It's just a running total of what you've got so far.
I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
1 point behind me now, so I've just managed to pip you with probably switching those leaders around. And so ends turn 2. You're going to start us next. These keepers stay on their location cards, remember. Join us next time for turn 3.